I just love the drifting in this game. I think it's one of the best car things that has ever come to it in the entire period that we've had the game. I'm so enthused about it. I have never laughed so much whilst driving in effectively single player, because this is an invite only lobby. It's as much fun as doing some of those rooftop type multiplayers with your mates. Can't believe how great it is. That's why the bulk of this video will be a bit of chat and a lot of cinematic drifting. But before that, we do just need to spend a short amount of time in the workshop. So here's my drift tamper, and as I zip through you'll see I have all the performance parts to maximum on this car, which obviously cost quite a bit of money at the time. You'll also see that I don't have bulletproof tyres, although I am going to put them back. I don't have them because I was constantly going between low grip tyres, at which point I couldn't hold the car in a straight line, to normal tyres, at which point I could hardly move it from a straight line. So now we're going to install the drift tune, and this is the warning, the notice here. You see it costs 200k and it removes all the other performance parts on the car. Now that doesn't matter if you've already got your car tuned up like mine, it's just something that's going to happen. But if you're buying a brand new car like the Infiniti to drift, that's the F36, then bring it here to the car meet first and fit your drift tuning. Don't waste 200k in your workshop putting on all the performance parts only to come here and have them taken off. Because believe me, once you put the drift tune on, you won't want to get rid of it. Oh, well, with that out of the way, we can go back and we can start drifting again. So for me, this is one of the best DLCs ever. And it's quite interesting because I don't think I'm going to partake of most of it. I'm not sure I want the salvage yard, or although if Yusuf keeps ringing me, I'll probably just get one out of desperation to shut him up. But I'm not sure I have time with all the builds and the other stuff that I do in the game really to profit from the salvage yard. It looks like there's quite a lot of time to go into it, and I think I'd only want to rob the cars once. So that doesn't look great. And a lot of the cars are great big floppy SUVs that I don't really have the room for or want, or minivans or whatever. But we've had a few nice cars, haven't we? We've had the F8, which is absolutely wonderful. I've done a video on that. I bought the Infiniti and I've bought the Mustang convertible. I'll do videos on those in the fullness of time. But I could care less because this drift mechanic, which is only applicable to a few cars, including two of the Ken Block cars like this, is just so wonderful. It's so well judged. I mean, I'm an old dude. I'm using a keyboard. One or two of my fingers don't even work very well with arthritis. I can hold big drifts. So if I can hold big drifts on a keyboard, you can most certainly do it on your fancy Xbox Series X with your controller, for example. So really, really great. Easy, controllable. I'd like to see more smoke in a sort of Ken Block fashion, but I'm lost for words. It's taken a car like this Tampa, the Hoonicorn, and it's made it from something that really was just a static display into something I just want to drive and drive and drive. It's not a massive list of cars they're doing this to, but it's a very well thought out list. Things like the 350Z, the Supra, obviously this car, and also the Drift Yosemite or the Hoonitruck. All the sorts of cars that you might expect to drift in real life, and really you don't want hundreds of your cars turning into drift cars. It wouldn't be realistic. I'm not sure if they've increased the steering lock, but when I look at some of the cars they do seem to have a lot more lock available while you're drifting, but that could be my imagination, I don't know. I've wanted to do this for forever really, since the game came out. I've seen videos of things like a Puto GTX, which you can also convert to a drift car, been driven by some very skilled people with controllers who can use the proportionality of the controller to hold a drift. But if you're just flicking a controller stick left and right, it's no different really to banging keys in on a keyboard. You lose that fineness of control. But here, through some clever programming, you effectively have that control. So years after buying the Drift Tampa, the car finally does what I want and finally seems worth the asking price. But what about the Drift Yosemite? That was always a case of touched the W key and it went to full revs. It never went anywhere. When it drifted it was snappy. So this is my first drive directly out of the car meet. I've just brightened it up a little bit though, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to see what was going on. And immediately we're into controllable drifts. I don't know if they put more camber on it again, or if I'm just noticing it more now that I've got the car, but it does look really well set up for drifting. Look at all that lock coming on. And again, it's easy to hold them. And again, this car goes from static exhibit to something that I really, really want to drive. So I don't think there's everything in this DLC for everybody, and I'm not sure that everybody will partake of all of it, but I don't care. This for me now is best DLC ever. I finished. Please like if you enjoyed the video, or even if you just like drifting. Comments, subscriptions, all of that would be great. The video is effectively finished. I will shut up now, but I'll leave the car drifting for a little longer in case you want to watch. Thank you so much for watching.